State Department spokesperson Ned Price held a press briefing on Monday. Price was asked about the ongoing invasion of Ukraine as the country gets ready to celebrate Independence Day this year. President Volodymyr Zelensky has warned of Russian attacks ahead of the holiday. Ned Price reaffirmed the U.S.'s commitment to honoring the holiday, which coincidentally falls on the 6-month mark of the invasion. Price was also asked about the State Department saying it does not support a complete ban on all Russian visas. Price said, "We do have to draw a line between those who are culpable for this aggression and the people of Russia."
On Russia, Ukraine, but first thing first, this week Ukraine celebrates its Independence Day. President Zelensky warned that there will be particularly nasty Russian attack ahead of the holiday. I just wonder how much, based on your assessment, your intelligence information, how much you can back that assessment, and if so, what kind of reaction will that invite from the U.S.?
I don't have any intelligence. You won't be surprised to share from the podium. But what I can tell you, Alex, is that we are going to mark together with our Ukrainian partners Ukrainian Independence Day on Wednesday. Not only will this be Ukrainian Independence Day, what should be a time for joy and celebration on the part of Ukrainians in Ukraine, but also around the world. But of course, it's taking place in the context of what has been Moscow's brutal aggression. And Wednesday, probably coincidentally, will also mark 6 months of this brutal aggression. There is no question in our minds that Russia will continue its brutal assaults on the Ukrainian state, on the Ukrainian people, on Ukraine's independence, its democracy, its territorial integrity as well. There's also no question that we will continue to stand with our Ukrainian partners. You saw on Friday we announced an additional presidential drawdown, our 19th presidential drawdown, $800 million in that drawdown alone. That brought our total of security assistance to Ukraine to about $10 billion since the start of the invasion, more since the start of this administration, and we'll continue to do more, as will our partners around the world.
The State Department also was quoted today as saying that it does not support a blanket visa ban against Russian citizens. It's important to draw a line between the actions of the Russian government and the people of Russia. I'm quoting the official was quoted on the media. You said from the get-go that it depends on Russian people to stand up against the regime, to address its behavior. I'm just wondering, how do you expect them to do so if they don't share the burden?
If
they don't share the burden, because you say
burden.
that we need to draw a line between people and the government. If you don't let them, let's say, if you let them, enjoy visa, privilege in Europe and the U.S., how do you expect them to stand up against the regime?
So just a moment ago, Alex, I spoke to one side of the equation, what we're doing to support our Ukrainian partners. There's another side of the equation, and it's what we're doing to hold President Putin and key decision makers in Moscow to account for this brutal, unjustified war against Ukraine. We have enacted the severe consequences that we pledged before February 24th, and we've done so consistently since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine on February 24th. Since that date, we have taken steps to impose visa restrictions on 5,000 individuals in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We'll continue to identify those who are responsible for Russia's invasion, and will promote accountability for their culpability for Moscow's aggression. We are looking at all appropriate tools to hold Moscow to account for this war. At the same time, we want to ensure that we are not closing off potential pathways to those who are themselves fleeing President Putin's repression at home, those who are seeking refuge or safety, the many Russian dissidents, Russian human rights defenders, Russian truth tellers who have stood up to President Putin's war and who may be vulnerable to human rights abuses because merely for exercising what should be their fundamental and universal rights. To your question, we've also been clear that we do have to draw a line between those who are culpable for this aggression, culpable in some ways, and the people of Russia. This is a brutal war that has taken a devastating toll on the people of Ukraine first and foremost, but the people of Russia have lost thousands upon thousands of their fellow citizens. The financial and economic costs that Russia has suffered because of this, costs that are in some ways passed on to average Russians, those are significant as well. So we want to ensure that we're continuing to promote accountability, but that we're doing so in a way that is targeted at those who, in the first instance, started this war, and who, much more than others, could bring this war to a swift close if they chose.
My last one on this topic.